Music is a key aspect of the Winx Club franchise. While an alarming number of the songs are admittedly the same generic nonsense of the protagonists in fact being the Winx, and singing about friendship and how if you have no friends, you're trash, there are plenty of songs that do rise above the rest. And so, we're gonna rank the major soundtracks of the franchise from worst to best, based on the soundtracks as a whole and how many bops they each have. Now before we begin, we are not going to be covering every single song. Namely, we'll only be discussing the soundtracks of each season, as well as the soundtracks for the films and the TV movies. Mystery of the Abyss hardly has any new songs to make it worth discussing, and quite frankly, I really don't care enough about World of Winx music to bring it up. Even though the outro and the songs for Dreamix and Onirix are certified bops. And no, we're not covering the 4Kids songs, just no. Before we begin though, I would like to say to my audience that usually sticks around for my Winx stuff, that my debut urban fantasy novel is out! Diseneribus from the Ashes follows a story set in a distant future where humans and sorcerers are locked in a quiet conflict, and it's a shit show. The main character Felix, a fire magus, strikes a deal with the devil of sorts to satiate his spite because bad choices. There will be magic schools, there will be gayness, there will probably be death. It's also a very anti-Chosen One vibe, by the by. If you want to know more, you can check out my video about the book and check it out through the sales links below. And if you could check it out, I really would appreciate it. Now without further ado, let the shit show begin. Is this surprising? No. The answer is no. The worst season also has the worst soundtrack. Who'da thunk? My biggest complaint for Season 6's music is how bland and generic it is across the board. The usual problems of songs about friendship, parties, positivity, and so on is amped up to the nth degree this season, to the point I genuinely feel like I've heard all these songs before. This season also marked the start of the music transitioning from Elisa Rosselli to Alessia Orlando. And no shade to Alessia, but her vocals still match up to Elisa's, and kinda lend to the more kiddie, generic vibe of all the music on display here. Even Elisa's songs aren't all that great either, though. The production of a lot of these songs is underwhelming. Elisa seemed to love vocal effects on her voice, set to an EDM style, and in my opinion, it does not work. We Are a Symphony gives me tonal whiplash going from this gorgeous vocalizing to whatever the hell the verses and the choruses are. And to add insult to injury, this season also features the worst transformation songs, which admittedly works for the worst transformations of the whole show. Both Bloomix and Mythix's songs are underwhelming in lyrics, vocals, and production, especially Bloomix's. I really wish they went with the prototypes Elisa had come up with, albeit without those damn vocal effects. Please stop. Again, Season 8 suffers from a collection of very generic, very kidified songs. I'm gonna be honest, the only insert song from this season I can even remember is Finally Together. And that is solely because of the live version by Elena Boroni, one of the official singers for the Italian version. Seriously, if you haven't heard it, she does a slower rendition of the song in Italian, and it's gorgeous. Aside from that, nothing stands out to me. Cosmix's song is alright, certainly better than Bloomix or Mythix's, but that's not particularly difficult to achieve. I do appreciate that the Cosmix song features verses, since transformation songs are usually just choruses. More expectation with the structures for these transformation songs, please. I will say though, that Season 8 does feature one of the best intros, and one of the best outros. Genuinely, I love the beat of this intro song, mostly because it gives me superhero vibes. Not the literal song superheroes, but like, the Winx are here to kick ass and save the day, you know? The Italian versions especially are a delight to listen to, but unfortunately, they're not enough to save the Season 8 soundtrack. To music jail with you, to music jail. Once again, a childish soundtrack for a childish season. Funnily enough, this is the soundtrack I had the hardest time remembering because it's so underwhelming. The Butterflick song is at least catchy, though. I don't hate it, so I guess that's something. The French version is still the best, though. The Tynix song, though, I adore it. Very simple, but it's Elisa's vocals and the production that I utterly adore. There are also a few songs featuring Elisa here, like Season 6, and they're much more enjoyable. Mon Ami, My Friends is fine, but I do like the unique production to give it more of a jungle vibe. So Wonderful is a superior party song, and Love Is All Around is transcendent. But beyond that, Electric Chair.
Electric Chair.
Season 4 made the smart move of incorporating Winx in concert songs, not only so more people would hear them, but also because Season 4's bass soundtrack is not good. So talking about it here, we're excluding any song from Winx in concert, which immediately leaves Season 4's soundtrack with nothing but more generic songs with weak production, whose only saving grace is the Believe It song. And it goes without saying that the Believe It song is iconic. The vocals, the production, the lyrics, everything about it. Chef's kiss. The rest of the Season 4 songs, no. Granted, I do enjoy the vocals in the Italian versions, thank you Michele Orari, but the English versions continue the problem of generic lyrics and production and weak vocals. Elisa Rosselli actually sings the Season 4 songs in the Sinaloom dub, but for whatever reason, whether it be the way she was instructed to sing or the production on her voice, she doesn't sound anything like she does on the Winx in Concert soundtrack. For the longest time, I was almost convinced this was a choir of annoying children singing until my ears bled. I do prefer most of these songs on the re-release, sung by Alessia, but they're still generic and bland, and weirdly even more kiddie. Also, still better that the Sofix song never got a proper release. Those vocals are astonishing. This is a hate crime. The Secret of the Lost Kingdom marks the transition to the show working with individual composers and artists, namely Elisa Rosselli and Maurizio Daniello. There aren't many songs on the soundtrack, but they bops. And they're actually a bit more mature than usual, which does fit the movie's more serious tone, coinciding with the Winx graduating from Althea. Enchantic Shining So Bright personally does not match up to the TV version, but it's still an iconic song with a dramatic lead-in. Stand Up isn't in the movie for whatever reason, which is a crime, considering it's the best song off the album for its beat and production. And I adore All the Magic by Natalie Imbruglia. Produced by Gary Clark, it's very apparent why this song is so different on every level from the rest of the soundtrack, even aside from having a different singer. For reference, Maurizio is the main producer on the rest of the songs, but Natalie's vocals, along with the beautiful lyrics, really fit as the credits for the movie's ending, almost feeling dreamlike. As weird as Magical Adventure is, its soundtrack is most definitely an improvement from the original, even though it features more tracks. While I prefer the original Believe It song, I appreciate the effort to change it up a little bit by giving it more of a rock flair in its production. Some of my favorite songs off this record are all of them. Don't Wake Me Up and Forever are cute love bops. Big Boy and Famous Girls have this snarky attitude that I am absolutely living for. Good Girls, Bad Girls is surprisingly one of the few fight songs from the franchise that we desperately need more of. And Love Can't Be Denied is what I call a soft bop. Even songs I'm not as fond of, like Supergirls, are catchy and upbeat, and you just can't help but enjoy it. Love is a Miracle is my favorite though. It's a lot like All the Magic in its soft dreaminess, but I love that it just goes on for 10 minutes, and Elisa's voice sounds angelic here. I especially love the lyrics, and they actually fit into some of the movie's themes of forgiveness and connection. Tell me why it's so hard to forget and let go. If we don't do the things we do for love, what can we carry on? I ask myself that every day. We're gonna count the first 3 seasons as one soundtrack for a couple reasons. 1, their style is wildly different from the rest of the franchise, and 2, the soundtracks for 2 and 3 are way smaller than 1, and they either never got properly released or composed in full, even in Italian. So this just makes my life easier. This era's music was done by Cartoon Family, and I am so sad their scores were never released. The musical scores for the first 3 seasons are hugely underrated, because damn, they made some iconic music with a style all its own. Weirdly, this show never has a problem with its musical score. like ever, holy shit. Anyhow, the first season probably has the most underrated soundtrack. It was only done in full in the Italian version, but oh my god, these are so good. Siamo Noi le Winx is one of the best transformation songs in any magical girl property, but we've also got other great songs like Got to Go, which makes me depressed and want to die. The Sun Will Rise, which is beautiful and epic and mysterious. There's nothing like it. And of course, Under the Sign of Winx. Still the best theme song of the whole franchise, fucking fight me. I'm not really a fan of any songs from seasons 2 or 3, aside from the Enchanted song and Sky Without Moon and Stars. Because it's about Muse's mom, and it hurts. How can you not love it? Un cielo senza stelle ormai. Oh, it is. It is. It doesn't help that for 2 and 3, all the songs are incredibly short, but even then they just don't stack up to the songs of season 1. I do love the full version of the Enchanted song though, including the verse, released this year by Lucia Miccinelli, doing the Lord's work. Or I guess I should say doing Arcadia's work. Is she the Lord? I'm not sure. Arcadia voiced by Lord. They missed a golden opportunity. Golden Kingdom. I need to be stopped. Season 5 had a lot of problems, but the music certainly was not one of them. Most fans say it's the season with the best music, and yeah, looking at my top 2 picks, I agree. I definitely agree. Firstly, the transformation songs. Harmonix's song is underrated, the lyrics are kinda lacking, but Elisa's vocals and harmonizing more than make up for them. And the Sirenic song, best transformation song of the whole franchise. End of story. I am so sorry, Siamo Noi le Winx. You are a close second. The intro reminds me a bit of season 8's, feeling like a bit of a superhero song, especially with the emphasis on the Winx viewing themselves as invincible. That may or may not have been why I focused a bit on this idea of the Winx paying for their arrogance in my season 5 rewrite, because I am a sick person. We've also got 1-to-1, an adorable duet between Musa and Riven that's a goddamn earworm. We Are Believix is way too cheesy for my liking, but I must admit Elizabeth Gillies is a queen and her vocals are gorgeous. Also, she is the best Daphne, fight me. The 2 best songs off of the soundtrack though are Like a Ruby and Return to Me, both relating to Musa's mother. Like a Ruby has beautifully simple lyrics and wonderful vocals from Elisa, perfect for a song about Musa's mother. Return to Me, meanwhile, is a powerful and emotional ballad, just like Sky Without Moon and Stars, capturing how when Musa sings or plays her music, it connects her to her mother. Cassidy Ladin's vocals are also stunning. Also, Underwater Mission for best season credits, aside from superheroes. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the 1-hour specials, given they're essentially just the scripts of seasons 1 and 2 haphazardly cobbled together. The 4th special did season 2 dirty, y'all. But I must admit, their music slaps. I'm actually a big fan of this repurposed version of the season 4 theme song. Symphonique was likely selected given she was a popular artist with Nick at the time, and I have no clue what the fuck she's doing now. But damn, I love her voice. And I am a sucker for lyrics all about girls kicking ass and owning the sky, yes. Don't know why it took so long to get the full version, but The Power of Charmix is a pretty good transformation song. Not one of the best, but incredibly catchy. Kate Kelly sings a few songs on the soundtrack, and her vocals serve. Elise is here too, in great songs like All Is Magic, Talking About Love, and I'm Home. Thankfully, the songs don't feel too generic. However, I am still bitter that Heart of Fire never got a proper release, in either Italian or English. Did they just forget about this song when making the soundtracks? Hello, Rainbow, an iconic power ballad about burning bitches with the almighty dragon flame? It deserved better. It just did. This is the best album of the franchise, bar none. I don't make the rules, and I do not apologize. This is actually a standalone album created, well, just really to be an album, rather than to accompany a season or film, and I think this album really benefits from that. The reason why I love this album is because of how it experiments with its production and how it ties into the characters' stories more than any of the songs normally bother to. A Kingdom and a Child explores Bloom's desire to learn more about her birth family, and endlessly captures some of her conflict whenever she was afraid of losing Sky. Spotlight is a perfect song for how Stella just loves catching everyone's attention and brightening their moods. Crazy in Love with You captures how much of a hopeless romantic Flora really is. Chain Reaction has this great virtual synthetic sound for Tekna's nerdy side, and Live My Life is emotionally honest in Aisha's reaction to her parents, specifically her father, trying to shelter her since childhood. The best song, though, is easily This Big World. It's easily one of my favorites, and is a powerful song about Musa pouring her heart out to her mother, even though she isn't here anymore. As someone who's lost a parent, this song hits. It even worked when repurposed for Naboo's death in Season 4. Although, well, I've made my feelings about Naboo's death clear before, but I will reiterate once more. Naboo deserved better. Maybe don't kill the only dark-skinned man in your main cast, and also half of the only black couple that had happiness torn away from them just for shock value. On a less heavy note, Superheroes is kick-ass. Again, songs about the Winx saving the day are great, and I love how this one connects right to the person listening. It makes it more of an intimate ballad about making the world suck a little bit less. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this from me, then be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications because YouTube hates creators. And if you're willing and able, please consider pledging your support for myself and the channel over on Patreon, and checking out my debut urban fantasy novel, Disinheritance from the Ashes, in the description below. I'm the Unicorn of War, and Season 6 will always be a shit show, even musically.